Joined now by the chairman of the Republican National Committee by phone, Michael Whatley. You're probably even more tired than I am, Mr. Chairman. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me.
You know what? I am excited to be with you. It's a very exciting morning, and really, I think everybody has a little extra pep in their step after last night.
I agree. Everyone who's got an R behind their name. Okay, my question, very bluntly, should Joe Biden take a knee and let Vice President Harris come out as quarterback to start the second half? Because last night was a season-ending injury for President Biden.
You know, I'm going to let the Democrats have those conversations, and we're going to watch those from the sideline. But what I will say is this. It wasn't just Joe Biden failing last night. President Trump hit every single mark that he needed to hit. He defended his record. He listened and talked about the issues that affect the American people, and he put real solutions on the table for how he's going to lead this party and lead this country going forward for the next 4 years. And if there is another candidate on the ticket from the Democratic side of the aisle, our approach does not change a bit, because he has a vision for America that is strong, that is going to have secure borders. We're going to have a resilient economy, and we're going to lead the free world. And that's not going to change no matter who the nominee is on the other side of the aisle.
So let's talk about the former president. I agree. Very strong, very determined. He would not take the bait. He would not step on a rake. He did not interrupt. He repeatedly returned to the border nightmare and the inflation nightmare. And when Joe Biden lied about not one American soldier has died on my watch, the former president immediately turned to Abbeygate and the 13 Marines and 12 Marines and one sailor who died there. He brought up how he's the most Palestinian president ever, meaning he's pro-Hamas and he's screwing our Israel ally. It was very good, very commanding, and I thought CNN did a fair job. I don't think there's going to be a second debate with Joe Biden, do you?
Look, I think we would welcome the second debate. I think,
well, of course we would.
Been very clear. He's been very clear. He'll debate anywhere, anytime, on any platform.
Do you have any knowledge when the president will name his vice presidential running mate?
I feel very comfortable that it is going to happen sometime between today and the first day of our convention on July 15th.
Chairman Whatley, I want to make sure they don't back out of Vice President Harris doing a debate. Because whether it's Doug Burgum, last night I did a pre-show, Mr. Chairman, and I had on former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Congressman Michael Waltz, and Senator Tom Cotton, current Senator Tom Cotton. If you put on Pompeo, Waltz, or Cotton, three people I talked to, they'll destroy Kamala Harris. Now, Michael Waltz can't be on the ticket because he's a Floridian, the president's a Floridian. But really, the sooner the better, because we can't let them squirrel out of Harris being on a debate stage with the most calm and smart person the president can come up with. I mean, Doug Burgum was on the show last week. Doug Burgum would myrtleize Kamala Harris.
Yeah, I think any one of the people that you talked about and any of the other Republicans that have kind of been mentioned in terms of being potential VPs will do an absolutely fantastic job. It is a great position for the Republican Party to have so much talent and so many really good people that it really doesn't matter who he picks. They're going to be better than Kamala Harris in terms of lining up and being a strength ticket. You know, when you think about this entire election cycle, it's going to come down to strength versus weakness, and that was really embodied on that stage last night.
You know, it is going to come down to strength versus weakness, because we cannot. You know, the one thing I think Jake and Dana, who are old friends of mine, and I've done 4 debates with Dana and 2 with Jake in the old cycle, I thought they were very fair. The only thing they didn't bring up was China and Iran. I mean, the former president brought them both up, and how Iran was on its knees and bankrupt, and China is now threatening Taiwan daily. But, you know, yesterday the New York Times said Iran is like weeks away from a nuclear weapon, and they're having discussions on whether to have it. They're floating the idea they're going to do breakout. I'm afraid for the next 6 months for this country. Are you?
Yeah, look, I think that Iran and Russia and China were all watching that debate last night. And you cannot see America as coming at the world stage from a position of strength right now. And it should concern every American. We need to get to this election. We need to get Donald Trump back in the White House, and we need to restore our strength on the world stage.
Now, the last time the former president was on my show. It's about 6 weeks ago. He said he was going to put out a list of senior appointees and a list of potential Supreme Court justices. I hope he does both of that. Do you think that will help him in, right now I want a landslide. He's going to win against Joe Biden, but I want a landslide, Mr. Chairman. I always want more. I want 60 Republican senators because did you see one Democratic senator last night on TV who's running for re-election? One?
It was remarkable when I was on the spin room floor last night. There were no Democrats. There was nobody trying to spin the debate. You can't spin that performance. And we also thought it was very interesting. We're looking up at MSNBC and some of the other boxes, and they were completely empty. There was a lot of Republicans, a lot of our surrogates that were on the floor talking to the press, but we did not see anybody from the Democratic side of the aisle that wanted to go and try and tell America that Joe Biden won that debate. None of them.
Now, I was not there last night. We broadcast remotely. My mothership's in D.C. I wasn't going down to Atlanta because I wasn't on the stage. So I don't know what the spin room was like. Can you walk me through that? I've never seen a spin room where the Democrats didn't send out the press gang to try and grab everybody and spin. What, they weren't there?
They really weren't there. There was one occasion where Gavin Newsom came out and had quite a big gaggle that he was talking to everybody about it. And when he left, it just kind of dissipated. We really have a strong group of Republicans that are standing behind President Trump and supporting President Trump. And we just did not see that coming from the Democratic Party. We didn't see, governors. We didn't see senators. We didn't see members of the Congress that were coming out to support him. It's almost like they knew what was coming.
Well, I did watch, and I have watched this morning. I've been up since 4:30 reviewing the clips. It was like Caesar on the way to the forum. All the, quote, friends of the president in the blue bubble media, they all put knives into him. They're trying to push him off the ticket this morning, and every major newspaper in the world has a headline on their landing page about what a disastrous performance. I'm older than you. I remember the panic after Reagan's first debate with Mondale in 1984 because he wobbled at the end. I mean, wobbled. It wasn't like last night. I've never seen anything like last night. Have you, Mr. Chairman?
No, I absolutely have not. And I think it is remarkable because President Biden showed off the weakness that President Trump has been talking about for the last year. There have been so many times where we have said, you have to return America to a position of strength. We need to restore our economy. We need to restore our standing in the world. We need to restore our southern border. And everybody says, oh, Joe Biden is fine. Joe Biden is fine. Well, what we saw last night on that stage, Joe Biden is not fine. And America is weaker today than we've been, frankly, in decades, generations. And when America is weak, the world is a much more dangerous place.
So we've got at least 11 seats in play. And I can run through them. Larry Hogan in Maryland, Dave McCormick in Pennsylvania. We got Bernie Moreno in Ohio. We got Mike Rogers in Alabama. We've got Captain Sam Brown in Nevada. We've got Kerry Lake in Arizona. We got Tim Sheehy in Montana. I'm forgetting some because that's only 8, and I know there are 11 that are competitive. I don't want to get overconfident just because the president is incapacitated. How is the money situation at the RNC?
The money situation is fantastic. We had a record March, a record April, a record May. I'll give you just one statistic from May. We raised $141 million, but we had 2 million individual donors that came in, right? An average of $70 per donation. And of those 2 million donors, 1/3, 700,000 of them had never given to a political candidate before. It is enthusiasm that we're seeing on the money side. It matches the enthusiasm we see at all of his rallies and all of his other events. He likes to say that the donations are really another form of a poll. I think he's absolutely right on that. There's a record enthusiasm gap between Donald Trump and Joe Biden like I've never seen in any other presidential campaign.
Chairman Michael Whatley, thank you. If people want to help the RNC or Donald Trump, where do they go to sign up or contribute?
GOP.com and DonaldJTrump.com, and we'll make sure we get all the information to you.
GOP.com, DonaldJTrump.com. Chairman Michael Whatley, always a pleasure. Keep coming back. Thank you you must be exhausted. Thank you for finding time this morning.
Hugh, definitely appreciate you and all your listeners.
Thank you very much.